Hello 9th graders! Ako nga pala si Sir Jonathan. Narito ako upang kayo ay gabayan sa inyong pagkatuto para sa linggong ito. Anumang katanungan o karagdagang paglilinaw pagkatapos ng ating talakayan ay maaari ninyong ikonsulta sa inyong mga guro sa Mathematics 9. For this week's lesson, we are going to discuss about the 6 trigonometric ratios. This lesson is anchored on the most essential learning competency, illustrates the 6 trigonometric ratios, sine, cosine, tangent, secant, cosecant, and cotangent. Let's begin our discussion with trigonometry. Trigonometry came from two Greek words, trigonon, which means triangle, and metron, which means to measure. By definition, it is a branch of mathematics that deals with the study of the relationships between the sides and angles of triangles. In trigonometry, we will be dealing on right triangles and oblique triangles, which comprises acute and obtuse triangles. However, in illustrating the 6 trigonometric ratios, we will just focus on right triangles. Before we illustrate the 6 trigonometric ratios, we have to establish first the relationship of the sides of a right triangle to an acute angle. Let us consider the right triangle ABC with right angle at C. Suppose that our reference angle is angle theta. Side BC is known as the opposite side of angle theta. When we say opposite side, it is a side across from the reference angle in a triangle. If our reference angle is angle beta, then the opposite side is side AC. How about the relationship of angle theta with respect to side CA? This is called as the adjacent side. When we talk about adjacent side, this is the side closest to the reference angle in a triangle. Take note that adjacent means next. And if the reference angle is angle beta, then side BC will be the adjacent side. Always remember that the opposite side and the adjacent side of a triangle depends on the reference angle. Also, the longest side of the right triangle, which is the opposite of the right angle, is called as the hypotenuse. Now, we move on to the 6 trigonometric ratios. By definition, trigonometric ratios are ratios of the side of a right triangle. This includes sine, cosine, tangent, cotangent, secant, and cosecant. To illustrate the 6 trigonometric ratios, let's consider this right triangle with reference acute angle at angle theta. We label the sides as follows: small a, b, and c. Base sa illustration, we can now establish that side A is the opposite side of angle theta. Side B is the adjacent side, and side C is the hypotenuse. For you to easily remember the 6 trigonometric ratio, remember SOHCAHTOA. So means sine is equal to opposite over hypotenuse, and based on the figure, that is equal to A over C. Ka means cosine is equal to adjacent over hypotenuse. Given in the figure, that is equal to B over C. And TOA means tangent is equal to opposite over adjacent, and that is equal to A over B. The remaining trigonometric ratios are just the reciprocal of the first 3 ratios. We have the cotangent theta is equal to adjacent over opposite, or that is B over A. This is the reciprocal of tangent. Next, we have secant theta is equal to hypotenuse over adjacent, or that is equal to C over B. This is also the reciprocal of cosine theta. And the last one, we have the cosecant theta, that is equal to hypotenuse over opposite, or that is C over A. This is the reciprocal of sine theta. So, these are the things that you need to remember in dealing about the 6 trigonometric ratios. Now, let's apply what you have learned in our discussion. At this time, let me guide you to answer activity 1 entitled Find for 6. In this activity, we will find the 6 trigonometric ratios with respect to angle A and angle B. To understand it better, let's have the first example. Given the right triangle whose sides measures 5, 12, and 13 respectively, let's find the 6 trigonometric ratios with respect to angle A first. We know that the side 5 units long is the opposite side of angle A. 12 is the measure of the adjacent side, and the hypotenuse is 13 units long. Maaari na nating hanapin ang 6 trigonometric ratios given the illustration. We have sine A is equal to opposite over hypotenuse. That is equal to the opposite side of angle theta is 5 over the hypotenuse of the right triangle is 13. Therefore, we can say that sine A is 5 over 13. Next, cosine A is equal to adjacent over hypotenuse. That is equal to 12 over 13. Tangent A is equal to opposite over adjacent. By substitution, we have 5 over 12. Cotangent A is equal to adjacent over opposite. That is also equal to 12 over 5. Secant A is equal to hypotenuse over adjacent, which is equal to 13 over 12. And cosecant A is equal to hypotenuse over opposite, and that is 13 over 5. So these are the 6 trigonometric ratios with respect to angle A. Ngunit, hindi pa natatapos dito, sapagkat we also need to find the 6 trigonometric ratios with respect to angle B. Base sa ating illustration, the opposite side is 12 units, the adjacent side is 5 units, and the hypotenuse is 13 units. The 6 trigonometric ratios are, we have sine B, that is equal to opposite over hypotenuse, and based on our illustration, that is 12 over 13. Cosine B is equal to adjacent over hypotenuse, and based on the illustration, that is 5 over 13. Tangent B is equal to opposite over adjacent, or that is 12 over 5. Cotangent B is equal to adjacent over opposite, and that is 5 over 12. Secant B is equal to hypotenuse over adjacent, or that is 13 over 5. And cosecant B is equal to hypotenuse over opposite, or that is 13 over 12. Based on the given right triangle, these are the values that we need. The 6 trigonometric ratios with reference angle at A and with reference angle at B. Next example. Given the right triangle with side J, D, and S, let's determine the 6 trigonometric ratios with respect to angle A and angle B. Unahin muna nating hanapin ang 6 trigonometric ratios with respect to angle A. We know that side J is the opposite side of angle A. Side D is the adjacent side, and the hypotenuse is side S. Now that we already know the opposite side, adjacent side, and the hypotenuse, the 6 trigonometric ratios of angle A are, we have sine A, that is opposite over hypotenuse, or that is equal to J over S. Cosine A is equal to adjacent over hypotenuse, that is D over S. Tangent A is equal to opposite over adjacent, or that is J over D. Cotangent A is equal to adjacent over opposite, and that is D over J. Secant A is equal to hypotenuse over adjacent, or that is S over D. And cosecant A is equal to hypotenuse over opposite, or that is S over J. Ngayon naman ay ating hanapin ang 6 trigonometric ratios with respect to angle B. This time, the adjacent side is J, the opposite side is D, and the hypotenuse is still S. The 6 trigonometric ratios are, we have sine B, that is equal to opposite over hypotenuse, and based on the illustration, that is D over S. Cosine B is equal to adjacent over hypotenuse, or that is J over S. Tangent B is equal to opposite over adjacent. Substituting, we have D over J. Cotangent B is equal to adjacent over opposite, that is J over D. Secant B is equal to hypotenuse over adjacent, and that is S over J. And cosecant B is equal to hypotenuse over opposite, and that is S over D. Based on the given right triangle, these are the 6 trigonometric ratios with reference angle at A and with reference angle at B. That's all for this video. Thank you for watching and stay tuned for the next virtual instruction.